Good afternoon. So today we're going to chat all about how to find apartments in Mexico. It's been one of the most asked questions since I started doing these series of videos here in Baja California Sur. I have been living in Mexico for almost 5 years now, mostly in Mexico City, but since the pandemic, we have been moving around a lot more and basing ourselves for 1 to 2 months in different places and finding month-to-month rentals. And as I mentioned in some previous videos, Airbnb started increasing their fees and all that sort of stuff. So we have been looking in a lot of other places for these month-to-month rentals to avoid super high fees. And also just to find some other locations and keep practicing our Spanish. So whether you're looking for a month-to-month rentals or you're looking for year-long leases or longer, empty unfurnished apartments or furnished apartments with all of the utilities included, we'll cover all the bases in this video. So yeah, let's get started. I did want to preface this video with some information about renting longer term in Mexico. This is definitely something that you'll need to think about if you're going to be moving here, moving your furniture, setting up rent and the utilities and all that sort of stuff in another city in Mexico. This is particularly required in a lot of places in Mexico City, but I've heard about it happening in Querétaro, Oaxaca, and Guadalajara. And it's called a fiador, or in Mexico City, they called it an aval. But it's basically a guarantor. And in Mexico, in order to rent long-term, to sign a lease, a lot of landlords require that you have this guarantor, this fiador. A fiador in Mexico has to own property in the state that you're trying to rent in. So if you're trying to rent in Querétaro, that person has to own property in Querétaro, not in Mexico City or in another part of the country. The other way that you can have a fiador is if, for instance, you're coming to the country with a business, someone's hired you from another part of the world that you've been living in, you're now moving to Mexico to work for that company can be a fiador because obviously it has value, the same as a property has value. So instead of using the property as a sort of guarantee, you're using the collateral of the business as collateral. So that's how a lot of people who move over and don't know anyone tend to get around it. In general, I believe it's possible to pay basically like half your year's rent up front in order to avoid having to use an aval, but in a lot of instances, you simply have to find someone who can help you. There are people you can hire to be your aval, I believe, but again, that's obviously going to cost you more money. But it's something to know about, something to be aware of as you start looking for long-term rent in the bigger cities. It's something that you're gonna have to deal with. Right, so let's switch over to the computer to talk about some of the different ways that you can look for apartments before arriving in Mexico. If you're thinking about trying to book a place so that when you get here, you can move straight in. These are a few of the ways that you can try to do that. Another thing to keep in mind, so many things to keep in mind, is that a lot of rent, in my experience, tends to be in cash. This is still very much a cash country. If you're not going through something like Airbnb or VRBO, then you will likely take some cash out of an ATM and pay your landlord in cash. That's just the way that it is. So let's head to the computer. So the first place I like to go, in general, just to scope out prices, but also to see availability and to find really good deals, is Facebook Marketplace. To find the marketplace, just go to your main Facebook feed and then click on the little building at the top that looks like a store. If you hover your mouse over it, you'll see it says Marketplace. It's worth remembering that the prices are usually listed in pesos since we're searching in Mexico, but it's always best to double check in case it's showing up in pesos for me because I'm in Mexico. Back when I was living in Mexico City, I used to use Facebook Marketplace to buy and sell furniture and kitchen appliances, but I had no idea until I moved here to Baja how popular it was for landlords to list their apartments here. We have found tons of leads for La Paz on Marketplace, and in the end, we found our current apartment here in San Jose through Facebook Marketplace as well. It can be hit or miss, and you have to be ready to move pretty quickly, so it's not the sort of place to come if you're trying to book something for the month ahead of time. These are cash-only deals, and if you aren't ready to look at the apartment or put down a down payment, then don't bother contacting people at the minute. However, if you're not currently in Mexico, it's a good place to start to get an idea of prices, and once you're ready and you're here in Mexico, to be able to move pretty quickly on the apartments that are here. While you're already on Facebook, it's also really worth joining any Facebook groups that relate directly to the place you want to live. For instance, if you want to find rentals in Todos Santos, you should join the group Todos Santos Newsfeed. In La Paz, be sure to join Local La Paz Expats. If you're not sure what the name of the local group is, it's usually pretty simple to find by typing expats and the name of the place in order to find the group. You can also just type the name of the city or town, and then in the left-hand column you can click Groups, and you'll be able to browse all of the groups relating to that location. Every once in a while, you'll get lucky and find a group that is specifically focused on rentals in that region of the country. That is an absolute goldmine. The next place that I only discovered recently that is a little bit more English speaker friendly is Craigslist. Choose which region you're looking to rent in and then simply head to the rentals section of the website. Craigslist can be a little bit confusing because sometimes the prices are listed in pesos and sometimes they're listed in dollars. Sometimes the price that's listed isn't even the real price, it's just to get your attention, so always be sure to ask. The other problem I found with Craigslist is that you can't exactly narrow down the search as much as you can in Facebook Marketplace. So you think you found a great gem in Cabo, but actually it's in Todos Santos. However, Craigslist is a great place to find longer-term rentals, monthly vacation rentals, and most valuable of all, property managers. It was only through Craigslist that I realized the power of finding local property managers around Mexico. It's how I found some really great property managers in Puerto Vallarta, as well as in Todos Santos and around Cabo. If you can't find them on Craigslist, you can simply use Google and search property managers in Puerto Vallarta or wherever it is you're looking to rent. This is the best option if you're looking for month-to-month rentals that are furnished and include all of your utilities. Most real estate offices are also property managers, so if you aren't having any luck finding specifically property managers, search for real estate agents in those locations, and they can usually help you find what you're looking for within the budget. Just keep in mind that going this route, where you have a middleman who's likely managing foreign-owned properties, means that these will cost more than if you were speaking directly to Mexican landlords in Spanish. That being said, you also get what you pay for, and if you want higher-end places without having to do a ton of the legwork, or you don't have a great grasp on the Spanish language, then it's usually worth the money to go this way. So the final tip that I have for finding an apartment requires you to get out and about in the streets. This is where you really find the best deals, like wandering around the neighborhood in the town or city that you want to live in and looking for rent signs is the #1 way to find the best price places and to be able to really see exactly where your new home is going to be, exactly where what it looks like inside and outside before agreeing to any sort of thing on the internet. But in general, it's just the best way to find the best deals. So I'll show you a little bit about what to look out for. You will, of course, have to speak a little bit of Spanish because these are all, for rent by owners. These are also how you find for sale signs too. But in general, this is the way that I have almost always found an apartment. I've used this method in Mexico City, Oaxaca, Puerto Vallarta, in Mazatlan. That's how we found our monthly place there. For the most part, these are places that are trying to rent it out for year-long leases or at least 6-month leases. But you can find gems, and in my experience, even if that person that you're contacting, whose phone number you got, doesn't have a place, the amount of times that I've been like messaging someone on WhatsApp saying, this is what I'm looking for, I saw your sign, and then I'm added to like another WhatsApp group with someone's brother or auntie or something like that, and then I'm like connected to someone who has what I'm looking for. It happens so often because people help each other. Like if someone in their family has rentals that are better for vacations or for month-to-month places that are already furnished, they're gonna hook you up with that because it helps their friends and family. So yeah, regardless of the fact that maybe this place is renting places that are completely unfurnished and you have to set up your own utilities, you could contact those people and maybe they can put you in touch with people they know. That's especially common, maybe not on buildings like this that are big rentals, but on smaller rentals that have people have them on their houses and stuff. That's always something you want to look out for. Yeah, just message people on WhatsApp, get chatting, and that is really my number one tip for finding great priced places around Mexico and places that you really want to be in. So yeah. If you have managed to make it all the way to the end of this video, I hope you found all these tips helpful. If you have other questions about finding apartments specifically in a certain place in Mexico, or more general questions about what I've talked about in this video, please let me know in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them for you. If you enjoyed this video, found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really supports my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.